When we think about keeping our older loved ones safe, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's a fall. It's a real, tangible fear, something we can picture and try to prevent with grab bars and non-slip mats. But what if the biggest dangers aren't the ones you can see? Beyond the obvious physical risks, there are invisible threats impacting millions of seniors. They don't leave bruises or broken bones, but their effects can be just as devastating. In this video, we're talking about the 3 hidden risks that often fly under the radar: the silence of social isolation, the shadow of cognitive decline, and the sophisticated web of financial scams. Most importantly, we're going to give you practical ways to protect the people you love, and for seniors watching, to empower you to live with confidence and security. Let's start with the first and perhaps most underestimated risk: social isolation. This isn't just about feeling a bit lonely now and then. This is a deep lack of meaningful social connection that has become a genuine public health crisis. The U.S. Surgeon General issued a stark warning that the mortality impact of being socially disconnected is similar to smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in for a moment. It's considered even more dangerous for your health than obesity or physical inactivity. According to national polls, even as the world has opened back up, about 1 in 3 adults between 50 and 80 still report feeling lonely or isolated. The World Health Organization notes that social isolation and loneliness affect about a quarter of older people and are key risk factors for mental health conditions later in life. Why does this happen? As we age, our social circles can naturally start to shrink. Retirement means losing daily contact with colleagues. Friends and loved ones might move away or pass on. Physical limits can make it harder to get out and do things that once brought joy and friendship. The result is a creeping silence, an emptiness that can settle in day after day. This isolation is so much more than just a bad feeling. It's been scientifically linked to a cascade of serious health problems. It's associated with a 29% increased risk of heart disease and a 32% increased risk of stroke. It dramatically raises the risk for depression, anxiety, and maybe most frighteningly, dementia. Loneliness can literally change the brain. As some psychologists explain, social isolation can start to shrink parts of our brain, and when that tissue is gone, it's gone forever. The body's immune system suffers too. A lack of social connection can increase susceptibility to viruses and is associated with chronic inflammation, a root cause of many age-related diseases. The financial cost is staggering. In the United States alone, social isolation among older adults is responsible for an estimated $6.7 billion in extra Medicare spending each year, mostly from increased hospitalizations. This isn't a small issue. It's a destructive force hiding in plain sight. The story of Arthur. To understand what this really looks like, let's talk about Arthur. Arthur is 78. For 45 years, he was a high school history teacher. His days were filled with the noisy energy of teenagers, debates with fellow faculty, and the comfort of a routine. His wife, Eleanor, was a nurse, and their evenings were for sharing stories from their day. When they both retired, they looked forward to traveling, but Eleanor's health declined suddenly, and she passed away just 2 years later. Suddenly, Arthur's world went quiet. His 2 children live in different states, busy with their own careers and families. They call every Sunday, a ritual Arthur both loves and dreads, because the silence after he hangs up feels deeper than ever. In the beginning, he tried to stay busy. He'd go to the grocery store even when he didn't need anything, just to exchange a few words with the cashier. He'd walk to the local library, but the librarians were always busy, and he felt like he was in the way. He used to meet a few old colleagues for coffee once a month, but one moved away to be with his grandkids, and another is now in a nursing home. The coffee group just faded away. His days took on a monotonous, lonely rhythm. He wakes up, makes coffee for one, and reads the paper front to back. He watches game shows in the afternoon because the fake applause makes the house feel less empty. He eats dinner standing over the kitchen sink. He hasn't shared a meal with another person in months. He feels invisible. As he once told his daughter, "If I disappear tomorrow, it might take a week for anyone to notice." This profound loneliness started to wear on him. He began sleeping poorly and lost his appetite. He felt a constant, low-grade anxiety. His world, once so full of people and purpose, had shrunk to the four walls of his house. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was a heavy blanket smothering his spirit. Arthur's story isn't unique. It's the quiet reality for millions of seniors who, through no fault of their own, find themselves disconnected from the world, making them incredibly vulnerable to the other risks we're about to discuss. The solution: building bridges of connection. The good news is that social isolation isn't an irreversible sentence. It can be beaten with intentional effort from seniors themselves and from their families and communities. It's all about proactively building and maintaining bridges to the world. First, for seniors watching, it starts with giving yourself a reason to get up and out of the house. Find a hobby, new or old. What did you used to love doing? Painting, woodworking, gardening? Community centers and libraries often have classes and clubs. Learning a new skill, like a musical instrument or a new language, is a great way to meet people and is fantastic for your brain. Volunteer your time. You have a lifetime of wisdom to offer. Volunteering at a school, animal shelter, or hospital provides a powerful sense of purpose and connects you with people who share your passions. You shift from being a passive recipient of your day to an active contributor. Embrace technology. Wisely, it can't replace face-to-face contact, but technology is a powerful tool. Video calls can bridge physical distance. Social media can help you reconnect with old friends and join groups built around your interests, whether it's classic cars or book clubs. Join senior-focused programs. Look for local programs designed for older adults. This could be a senior center, a walking group, or a chair yoga class. These environments are welcoming and designed for connecting with peers. Schedule your social life. Treat your social life like part of your health routine. Schedule regular social events, even if it's just a weekly coffee with a neighbor. Don't wait for invitations, extend them. Next, for family and friends, you have a critical role to play. Schedule social time. Don't just say we should visit more. Put on the calendar. Make a standing weekly dinner date or a bi-weekly trip to a park. When you visit, be present. Put your phone away and give them your full attention. Ask and listen. Instead of "how are you?", which usually gets a simple "I'm fine," try asking open-ended questions like "what did you do today?" or "who have you talked to this week?" Help them connect. Help your loved one research local groups or activities that fit their interests. Offer to go with them the first few times. Help them set up a simple tablet for video calls. Encourage a sense of purpose. Ask for their advice. Involve them in your life. Ask them to teach you or your kids a skill they have. Feeling needed is a powerful antidote to loneliness. Finally, as a community, we can build a more connected society by supporting public transportation, accessible community centers, parks, and libraries. Programs that match volunteers with homebound seniors are a fantastic model. The goal is to reweave the social fabric for those who have become isolated, ensuring that everyone, at every age, feels seen and connected. The second hidden risk is cognitive decline, and it's tragically tangled up with the social isolation we just covered. When we think of cognitive decline, our minds often jump to Alzheimer's. But the process can start much earlier and more subtly, and loneliness can act as a powerful accelerator. Think of your brain like a muscle. It needs a workout to stay strong. Social interaction is a complex workout for your brain. It forces you to listen, process information, access memories, and formulate responses in real time. When that daily workout disappears, the brain's function can begin to atrophy. Perceived social isolation is a major risk factor for poorer cognitive performance and faster cognitive decline. The decline isn't always dramatic. It might start with forgetting names more often, misplacing keys, or struggling to follow a movie plot. It can show up as a decline in what experts call executive function, the ability to plan, organize, and make complex decisions. This is incredibly dangerous because that's the very skill set needed to manage finances, health, and a household. A slight dip in executive function can make someone more easily confused and less able to spot a risky situation. making them a perfect target for our third hidden risk, financial scams. The stress of loneliness itself is also toxic to the brain. Chronic loneliness is linked to higher levels of stress hormones like cortisol, which can damage the hippocampus, a brain region critical for learning and memory. The link is so strong that some researchers are exploring if treating loneliness could be a primary way to prevent dementia. The story of Margaret. Consider Margaret, an 82-year-old widow who always prided herself on her sharp mind. She managed her own finances meticulously. After her husband passed, she lived alone, and while she felt lonely, she was determined to manage. Her daughter, living an hour away, noticed small changes. Margaret would sometimes repeat stories. She once got confused about the day of the week, insisting it was Tuesday when it was Friday. On one visit, her daughter found a pile of unopened mail with a few past due bills, something the formerly hyper-organized Margaret would never have let happen. Margaret was aware of these slips, and they scared her. That fear made her withdraw even more. She didn't want her daughter to worry or, worse, think she couldn't manage her own affairs. The real trouble started with confusing calls and letters. One was an official-looking notice claiming she'd won a sweepstakes but needed to pay a processing fee. A few years ago, she would have instantly seen it was a scam. But now, the lines were blurry. The idea of a windfall was exciting, and the letter was convincing. Her slightly impaired executive function made it hard to weigh the pros and cons. Another time, a man with a kind voice called, claiming to be from her bank's fraud department. He said there was suspicious activity on her account, and he needed her to verify her information. He spoke quickly, using technical terms she didn't quite follow. She felt a surge of panic and a desperate need to fix the problem. The slight cognitive fog, combined with fear and pressure, made it nearly impossible to think clearly. She was on the verge of giving him everything he wanted. Her mind, once her greatest asset, was starting to betray her, leaving her exposed in ways she'd never imagined. The solution: a proactive approach to brain health. Just like with physical health, we can be proactive about our cognitive health. We can't stop aging, but we can take steps to build cognitive resilience, the brain's ability to cope with challenges. Here are the most effective strategies for promoting brain health. Stay mentally active. This is the #1 thing you can do. Challenge your brain daily. This means more than just crossword puzzles. It means learning new things. Take up a new skill like painting, learn an instrument, or study a language. The goal is to create new neural pathways. Stay physically active. What's good for the heart is good for the brain. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate activity, like brisk walking, each week. Even short 10-minute walks are beneficial. Eat a brain-healthy diet. Diets like the Mind Diet or the Mediterranean diet have been shown to be great for brain health. This means focusing on fruits, vegetables, especially leafy greens, whole grains, fish, and nuts, while limiting red meat, sweets, and processed foods. Prioritize quality sleep. Sleep is when the brain cleans itself out, clearing away toxins that can contribute to disease. Most adults need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. If snoring is an issue, it's crucial to see a doctor, as it could be a sign of sleep apnea, which is linked to memory loss. Manage chronic health conditions. This is vital. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes all damage blood vessels in the brain, increasing the risk of cognitive decline. Working with a doctor to keep these under control is critical. Address sensory issues. Untreated hearing loss is a major and often overlooked risk factor for dementia. When you can't hear well, the brain works harder to process sound, diverting resources from other tasks. Get your hearing checked and use hearing aids if needed. Stay socially engaged. This brings us full circle. As we've discussed, social interaction is powerful mental exercise. Make a conscious effort to stay connected with friends, family, and your community. For family members, the key is to be observant and supportive. If you notice signs of cognitive decline, approach the conversation with empathy. I've noticed you've seemed a bit stressed about bills lately. Would it help if we looked at them together? Is much better than, you forgot to pay the bills again. Encouraging a doctor's checkup can rule out treatable causes. Promoting brain health is a team effort and one of the best investments you can make in a long, independent life. Mid-video, CTA, we're about to cover the third and final hidden risk, which causes the most immediate and devastating damage: financial scams. But first, if you're finding this information valuable, please take a moment to subscribe. Your support helps us create more content like this to empower and protect our community. This brings us to our final and most predatory risk: financial scams. Let's be clear, scammers aren't just amateurs trying their luck. They are sophisticated, organized criminals who see seniors as their most lucrative targets. And they are relentlessly successful. According to the FBI, people aged 60 and over in the U.S. lost a staggering $4.8 billion to fraud in 2024. And that's just a fraction of the total. The FTC reports that Americans of all ages lost a record $12.5 billion to scams that same year. Why are seniors such a prime target? They often have savings, own their homes, and have good credit. They also tend to be more polite and maybe less familiar with the latest digital scams. But most importantly, scammers expertly exploit the very vulnerabilities we've just discussed: the loneliness of social isolation and the confusion of cognitive decline. A lonely person is more likely to talk to a friendly stranger, and a person with mild cognitive impairment is less likely to spot the red flags. Here's a hopeful fact. Research shows that if you've heard about a specific scam, you're 80% less likely to engage with it. So, let's get educated. Scams are always evolving, but they often fall into a few key categories. Imposter scams. This is the most common type, where a scammer pretends to be someone you trust. Government imposters. They'll call, text, or email pretending to be from the IRS, Social Security, or Medicare, claiming you owe money and will be arrested if you don't pay immediately. Here's the key. Government agencies will never call you to demand immediate payment or threaten you. They communicate through official mail. The grandparent scam. This one is especially cruel. A scammer calls, often late at night, and says, "Grandma, it's me." They wait for you to say a name like David, and suddenly they become David. They'll claim they're in trouble, a car accident, arrested, and need money wired immediately, begging you not to tell their parents. The use of AI to clone a loved one's voice is making this scam even more convincing. Tech support scams. A loud alarm blares from your computer with a pop-up, claiming it's infected with a virus and you must call a number. The technician on the line will ask for remote access to fix it, at which point they can steal your information or charge you for useless services. Legitimate companies like Microsoft or Apple will never use alarming pop-ups that tell you to call them. Romance scams. These scammers prey on lonely hearts. They create fake profiles on dating sites, spend months building a deep emotional connection, and then the requests for money begin. They need it for a plane ticket to visit you, a medical emergency, or a business deal gone wrong. They will always have an excuse for why they can't meet in person. Sweepstakes and lottery scams. You get a call saying you've won a huge prize. The catch? You have to pay taxes or a processing fee up front. They'll demand payment in gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. This is always a scam. You never have to pay money to receive a legitimate prize. The story of a scam. Let's walk through how one of these unfolds. Let's go back to Margaret. One afternoon, her phone rings. Caller ID says Bank of America. A professional-sounding man introduces himself as John from the Fraud Prevention Department. "Ma'am," he says urgently, "we've detected a suspicious wire transfer attempt from your savings account for $5,000 to an overseas account. Did you authorize this?" Margaret's heart sinks. "No, of course not." "Okay, good," John says, his voice calming but firm. "We caught it in time, but we need to act now to secure your funds. The criminals who tried this have likely compromised you, so we need to move your money to a secure. To do this, I need you to go to your bank right now and withdraw your investments." He continues, "This is very important. The criminals may have accomplices inside the bank, so you cannot tell the teller why you are withdrawing. If they ask, just say it's for a home. Do you understand? This is for your protection. The urgency and fear are overwhelming. John stays on the phone with her the entire time she drives to the bank, constantly reminding her to see herself. At the bank, she withdraws her life savings, $35,000 cash. Okay, Margaret, John says, now, to get the money into the new secure federal account, you need to deposit it using a cryptocurrency wallet. It's a special machine that will instantly protect your funds. There's one at the convenience store a few miles away. Margaret doesn't really understand Bitcoin, but John is so professional. He walks her through every step at the Bitcoin ATM, having her scan a QR code he sent to her phone and feed her life savings, bill by bill, into the machine. Perfect, he says. Your money is now 100% secure. You'll get your new account documents in the mail. He hangs up. Margaret feels relieved. But the next day, when she calls the official Bank of America number on her debit card, the real representative has no idea what she's talking about. There was no suspicious transfer. There is no John. Her money is gone. The scam was a lie from start to finish, built on fear and pressure. The solution? A firewall of skepticism and verification. Protecting ourselves from these predators requires building a mental firewall. It's built on a healthy dose of skepticism and one simple, unbreakable rule. Verify, then trust. Here are the practical steps to stop scammers cold. Stop and slow down. The number one tool of a scammer is urgency. They create a crisis to make you panic. Your best defense is to resist that pressure. Hang up the phone. Delete the email. No legitimate organization will ever demand you act immediately. Never pay with unconventional methods. If anyone asks you to pay with a gift card, a wire transfer, or by depositing cash into a crypto ATM, it is 100% a scam. Legitimate businesses and government agencies do not use these methods. Verify independently. If you get a call from your bank or the government, hang up. Then, find the official phone number on the back of your credit card or on their official website, ending in .gov. Call that number directly. Never use a phone number or click a link from an unsolicited message. The grandparent scam defense. If you get a call from a loved one in distress, hang up and call them back on a known number. If you can't reach them, call another family member to verify the story. You can also establish a safe word with your family that only you would know. Shred, secure, and be private. Shred documents with personal information. Use strong, unique passwords online. Be wary of what you share on social media. Scammers use those details to make their stories more convincing. Talk about it. Don't be ashamed if you've been targeted or scammed. These criminals are skilled manipulators. By sharing your experience and reporting it, you help protect others. Report all scam attempts to the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. For family members, have these conversations before a crisis. Casually ask your older relatives, have you heard about this new scam? Talk about the red flags. Help them set up their devices securely. Consider adding a trusted contact to their financial accounts, which allows the bank to reach out if they suspect exploitation. The goal isn't to live in fear. It's to live with awareness. By understanding the tactics scammers use, you take away their power. Conclusion. The risks we've discussed today, social isolation, cognitive decline, and financial scams, aren't the ones we typically associate with aging. They don't announce themselves with a sudden crash. They are silent, creeping threats that weave themselves into daily life, often unseen until the damage is done. But here's the hopeful part. They are not unbeatable. And the common thread running through all the solutions is connection. Connection to our community to fight loneliness. Connection to stimulating activities to keep our minds sharp. And connection to trusted family and friends to create a support network that can spot a scam. If you're an older adult watching, know that your independence and security are worth protecting with vigilance. Stay curious, stay active, and never be afraid to question something that doesn't feel right. If you have older loved ones in your life, the message is equally clear. Be present. Pay attention. Your time and engagement are the greatest gifts you can give. A simple, regular phone call where you truly listen can be a lifeline. A shared meal can be a powerful antidote to loneliness. A conversation about a new scam can be the armor that protects their life savings. Bringing these hidden risks out of the shadows is the first step. Please share this video. Talk about these issues with the people you care about. Because creating a safe, connected, and protected community for our seniors is a responsibility that belongs to all of us. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell icon for the daily updates. Please do like, subscribe, and share with your friends.